saying Miracle, that's Big Chill. Give you zero, no good. That's a board wipe, no refill. Yugi peoples, welcome to the commentary. Alright, so going into this one right here, this will be my semifinals match against Bobby and his Crystal Beast. This man does like pretty good with his Crystal Beast, like almost every tournament he played in with it. He does really good with it. He's a good pilot for this deck. And this will actually be the second time that we played against each other in this tournament. I actually had to play him during Swiss where we got the win also. But yeah, so I try to start off with emergency call, and without fear, he's going to activate the Ash right there and not get punished by it. Can't do too much about that. So we're just going to normal summon Stratos and go ahead and add our follow-up for next turn. And knowing that I am, playing against Crystal Beast, trying to decide what I'm going to go ahead and do here. Since we got the trap card, the Shade Brigandine, we're going to be able to use that to go into the Time Thief Redoer. And the main reason why I go into that is because I know that his deck runs a ton of spell cards. So we're going to most likely get that draw. And as you can see during the standby phase, we're going to go ahead and get that spell card. And here's the one that pretty much lets him add any Crystal Beast card. We're going to go ahead and ash that one and not be able to do anything about it. This thing tributes itself for cost, so there's no point in activating Time Thief Redoers to bounce it back because he would just chain it as a quick effect, and yeah, so we would lose that battle. So we'll just kind of bide our time here and wait for the perfect card to bounce back to the top of his deck, because a lot of his cards are continuous. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and decide to just set one pass, and I'm going to try to activate Time Thief Redoer's effect in order to draw a card. But yeah, that ends up getting ashed. And then another thing is, like, I did do that during the end phase, and I forgot to activate Time Thief Redoer's effect in the standby phase this time. But I do just end up activating it to remove him to the board to get my Stratos into the grave. That way I can have a target to summon with my Liquid Soldier. I'm actually going to just go ahead and target his back row with Stratos effect, and he's going to scoop it up. So not sure why his hand was so bad, because like usually like every spell card that they have like adds another spell card or goes into another spell card or something there. But yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and scoop it up there. But yeah, I feel like either Time Thief Redoer or Tornado Dragon was a really good choice there. And I went with the Time Thief Redoer because I was going to have the bounce for whatever continuous spell he went to activate. And then plus, like I said, he just plays a lot of spell cards, so I'm going to get a lot of free draws. So yeah, we easily take game one there, and we're going to get ready for game two right here. And going into the game two, of course, my opponent is going to go first, don't you know? And yeah, we're going to see what kind of hand we end up with, what kind of board he ends up with. I know they have like a trap card that's like an Omni-Negate and stuff like that. And yeah, I think actually like going into this matchup, I sided more for cards that are just like overall kind of like board breakers, cards that are more like board breakers for his kind of deck, which includes like Lightning Storm, Feather Duster, Evenly Matched, just stuff like that. Because usually Ash doesn't stop his turn. I guess I got extremely lucky this last turn and I was able to just stop his turn with Ash. But I've seen him play through multiple hand traps with this deck. It's because like all their cards like basically search and add like everything else, which is like really, really weird. And they're not once per turn, which I thought was pretty crazy also. I was just like, man, this deck just can do a lot if it's got the gas in order to do it. So yeah, he's gonna draw stuff to be able to make plays here. I don't think I drew any hand trap, no Droll, no Ash, no Ghost Ogre, anything like that. So he's going to be able to take his whole turn pretty effectively. There goes that first trap card right there. And I just want to say that card right there is just basically add, and it's, like I said, these cards are not once per turn, so he's gonna actually go ahead and add the second trap. So he's got two Omni Negates out there now, and he's got the continuous card that allows him to like send to like bounce a crystal beast and like bounce a card from my field also. And there goes the bridge, which allows him to add any field spell that he wants along with a crystal beast monster. And actually, like against a normal hero deck, the Necro Valley is like really good. But against this deck in particular, it doesn't really do too much. Like it'll stop my Liquid Soldier, but other than that, I really don't have too much to do with the graveyard. And that's, one thing about playing decks like this is like your opponent knows that it's heroes, but they don't know exactly what the deck does. So yeah, he just didn't know that Necro Valley was not going to do too much to me or anything. But this hand was like really good. Actually got like a Hero Lives with Feather Duster evenly. And I think I got like Pot of Desires too, so it's pretty crazy. We're going to start off with the Feather Duster. And the Feather Duster is going to get Omni negated, of course, because it would destroy all his stuff. We're going to activate Pot of Desires there to get to draw two cards. I was wondering if he might use the Omni negate on that Pot of Desires, which, would be pretty bad. As you can see, like multiples of my copies of my hand traps are there. And we actually drew Lightning Storm and Evenly Matched. So yeah, it was pretty crazy. We're going to activate Lightning Storm. And there goes the second Omni negate, sending the Pegasus or destroying the Pegasus, which is going to put him into the spell and trap card zone. We're going to go start a battle, end a battle, evenly matched. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and just banish everything that is not the Necro Valley. As I figure, like, as far as like all the cards he had down there, that is probably the best choice. We're going to go ahead and activate a Hero Lives to bring out the Shadow Mist. And we're going to use Shadow Mist to go ahead and add the mass change here. So I think like I didn't draw, as you can see, like I didn't draw like a way to get to like my Solid Soldier or anything like that. Even though I drew two cards with Desires, it helped me break his board, which is, good enough. And we did have at least one starter. So here I'm trying to decide how I want to play out the rest of my turn. I can't attack and do damage or anything like that. But I have Liquid Soldier, and you might wonder why I went ahead and decided to summon him when he's not going to be able to get his effect. But it's mostly because like his best cards are like continuous cards. And so when he goes to activate them, I can go ahead and just get rid of them by bringing out Mass Hero Acid. And that will, keep him from being able to get those effects. And it'll also destroy the Necro Valley, even though my Liquid Soldier is gone. I don't have no way to get it back anyway. But I wanted to save the mass change, not necessarily use it for Dark Law, but I felt like it would be more effective to make acid with it, because I believe the main card that I'd be worried about is the continuous one that has like the ability to like set stuff and add stuff and send my stuff back. So yeah, he goes to activate it, and I'm just trying to make sure it's not got like a quick effect or something like that. So when he activates it, I'm gonna go ahead and mass change there into my acid, getting rid of it before he can activate the effects of it or anything. And also getting rid of the Necro Valley, which getting rid of the Necro Valley was no big deal, but he's gonna go Pegasus, and just so that there's not anything cheeky going on, let's go ahead and effect Veiler that thing. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and use our Shadow Mist effect. But, given as how he had nothing left, he's going to go ahead and scoop it up. So, yeah, our semifinals win. We go ahead and get that big 2-0, effectively using, I don't know. I guess it was more like our hand traps. But that was like the thing about running this deck is like, the monster count is like really low. And yeah, I had a lot of fun playing it in this tournament, using it until I got to the finals, where I don't know, man. It was really bad against Labyrinth. My side decking was off, and I just didn't draw like Lightning Storm evenly and stuff like that, like I did for this matchup. And it's kind of dang near impossible to win those kind of matchups when you don't draw like specific cards to be able to out the trap cards and a field spell, and they just start doing like crazy things to you. But yeah, so you see the semifinals victory there. I'm actually thinking about maybe taking this deck to the regional just to have a little bit of fun with it, but we'll see what ends up happening. So I appreciate everybody who stayed a while to listen, and I will catch y'all on the next video. Man, he come through, he level up, he go cool, he's shining out and popping to over 9K. That's a breakthrough. We on top now. Here's a look at our world.